Give me a thumbs up right now. Looking at the comment section. Looking at the comment section. You think you already know. You think you already know. If you think you already know, you are right. You know why? Because many times we know what we know. However, it doesn't show in our lives. If we give 10 people from the audience of over 40 persons the opportunity to be the one to facilitate the session, trust me, you will be able to facilitate this session. But why it might not be evident in your own life is execution. So what I want us to do today is to promise ourselves that I will not just listen today. I will take whatever will be shared, whether it's new knowledge or old knowledge or a reminder. I will begin to work on it. I will begin to make sure that whatever I know is evident in my life. The greatest, something that I used to say, I would be miserable if I knew something and then it doesn't show in my life. Because when they say knowledge is power, knowledge is light, it means that there should be an equal and an opposite reaction. There should be an evidence of it. So imagine living your life and you've lived up to 30, 35 years and you know so much, but it doesn't show in your life. That is the greatest tragedy of all times. And even God himself would not be happy with us. So please buckle up, buckle up. If you need to write, write. If you need to take notes, take notes. But I want you to be present because I came here for you. When God's Gifts reached out like 2 hours ago and said, hey, this we are going live 2 hours. I mean, what did he say? I was like, what is it today? I didn't realize it was today. So please let's not take this opportunity for granted. We are here now and we need to maximize it. Did we get the MBTI test links? Have you done your test links, your personality tests? Have you done your personality tests? Amazing. I've seen thumbs up. You've done your personality tests. I've seen great. You've not done your own. Hey, see, that's why I sent it like 2 weeks before now. I'll be 1 week before now, so that you can do it. It's very important. But then because we don't have much time, we can't do it. It will take you at least another couple of minutes to do it. So we do not have time. If you have done yours, please raise up your hand so that I'll call your name and then you tell me what your result is. I'm not quite sure who is raising up their hand. If you're ready to tell us your result, Oluwaseun, please tell us your result. I just saw your hand up. Or is that for somebody else? Who again raised up? Is it Victoria? Someone raised up their hand.
Yeah, I think Victoria is up her hand.
Victoria, please shoot.
Okay, actually, good afternoon, everyone. I took the personality test, but I was not able to check my results. I think it was saying I had to pay a particular amount before I can check it.
Oh, okay. Does anybody have the same experience?
Yes, exactly. That was my experience as well. I couldn't check the
Oh,
results.
so my bad. I should have sent you the one that is completely free. I currently use that one, but I think I paid for it and I didn't realize that other people needed to pay for it. But can you give me a first-hand experience? What did you notice about the questions? What was the
Sorry, are
question
you trying to?
about? Yes, please. Yes.
Hello.
Yes, Victoria, please Please shoot.
So one thing I noticed about the questions was that they were actually relatable. Like there was something that happens, should I say, in our environment, one in our personal life too. It's just something everybody can relate with. So I think that was
Hmm.
something I noticed about it.
Okay. Amazing. So you would notice that there are some questions that they'll keep asking you in different forms. Now,
Yes.
the reason for those type of questions is the questions are called psychometrics to help understand the kind of person that you are. And for MBTI is really connected to your career. Who you are as a person should directly speak of your capabilities, of what you can do. That's why I don't really advise people to just go out and get any job. You need to be sure that the job that you are getting is directly tied to your strengths. Take for instance, I was about to share my screen, but Goskip, can you help me share my slides?
All right,
Because I
I'm
hope,
here.
yeah, thank you. So I usually give this example. Let me mention some of my strengths. Some of my strengths are speaking. I love to speak. I have a loud range. So it means that if I'm in a hall of over 500 people, I can project my voice and they will hear me. And I can speak and they will understand me. Right? Another of my strengths is singing. I can sing. Another of my strengths is writing. I love to write. Well, I did not initially notice that it was a strength until people pointed it out to me. I just realized that I loved to write. So, your career should basically be a combination of your skills, your talents, your strengths, your capabilities, your interests. It shouldn't be something you are not, that doesn't come easily or naturally to you. It shouldn't be something that you're not even interested in. It shouldn't be something, right now, I'm talking about pre graduation or, yes, before graduation, right? I assume that we have most people who have already graduated here. But this is the conversation you should have already had with yourself, with your parents, with your mentors before now, to say that you sit down with them and say, do we have undergraduates in the house? Do we have undergraduates in the house? Amazing. Thank you for that feedback. This is the conversation you should be having now. Your career is a conversation you should be having now. Let me tell you one reality. The thing that you plan for are most likely going to be your reality. Let me give you a good example. I'd always thought about my career, right? But that career that I've always thought about, I used to talk about it with myself. It was never a conversation that I had with a mentor or an active conversation. But I realized that the reality of my career is that I had always taken a step. I had always taken a step towards something that I should be doing with my life. So right now, the active conversation you should be having is your career, not a job. A career is from a job. A job is something that you just do. A career is something that is you. It speaks of you as a person. What is your career? It's not what is your job, because your job, you can get any job anytime. Your job is about the employer, while your career is about you as a person. It means that you can walk away from any job, but your career remains with you. Your skills, your talents, your capabilities remains with you, not with your employer. Your employer can take their 1 million or 2 million naira, but you have your career. It means that you can land a 2 million or a 5 million naira job tomorrow. So your career always remains with you, which is why you must always think, what is my career? That the way you can arrive at that is discovering what your skills are, what your talents are. That's why I sent that test. I'm going to look for a free one and send again to Gosu so you can do it by yourself in case you're having some doubts about what your career can be. Let me use myself as an example. I used to be also confused because as a very talented, very multi-skilled person, I'm the kind of person that if you give me any job, give me some time, I'll smash it. I will deliver excellently. And that's the same thing with smart people. You find out that anything they give you, just let them just give you time. You figure it out and you do it well. You would always notice that. And that's the problem, because you get to this point where you now actually have to choose a career path. Like, oh, which one should you do? Now, as much as you can choose one for a job, there are other things that make you fully who you are. I like to use myself as an example again, so it's very practical. Like I said, I like to do this, like to sing, like to write, like to speak. I like to teach. I love to teach. I love to speak to people. I love to share my knowledge. I love to help people move from one step to another. And this, I have seen it as a pattern in my life, because even as a child, how parents will come to me and say, oh, I need you to speak to my daughter. And their daughter is my age mate. And their daughter is like 1 or 2 years older than I am. And how did all of this come about? Upbringing, how my father brought me up with books, with lessons, with mentorship, with, oh, this is how you live life. This is all of those. And me, I felt like, oh, I wanted to teach somebody what my father taught me. It came naturally to me. So there was now a dilemma. I could go into learning and development. I could go into HR. I could go into communications. I could go into marketing. I could go into project management. I could go into all of these things because I can. And by God's grace, I have the capacity to. But when you want to land a job, you have to pick a path. Now, don't limit yourself by just saying, okay, it's just this job I want to do. If you know me personally, you know that I'm not only doing my job, I have a 9 to 5 running, but I have so many expressions of myself that must manifest, because see, God did not put all of these things in me to go to waste. So the fact that you're trying to pick a job doesn't necessarily mean that you should leave every other thing. Yes, some things would be prioritized over others. However, you must not neglect the gifts and talents that God has given you. You mustn't. I always say this, pick a career. Like, you can have a career as a person. When you want to pick a job, pick something that is consistent, pick something that can stand the test of time, pick something that is not just for trends. Not today they say and data analytics is the one that's trending now, you now run to it. Say tomorrow is digital marketing, you run to it. No, sit down with yourself, pick it based on your skills, pick it based on your talent, pick it based on your interest, pick it based on the money that is available on that path. You can be so passionate about something, but there's not much money there. So you have to pick something that ticks the boxes for all of these things that we've mentioned. Please, next slide. Let's see what we have on that slide, because I tend to have my slides in my head and I just keep going. Next slide, please. So you see that we've already sort of covered. Next slide, because this was just to talk about. Next slide. Yes, so we're talking about assessing your strengths, interests, values, research your career paths. See, before I finally, do you know that right now I work as a communications and marketing professional in a fintech, but I run an HR agency on the side. I write books. I mentor people. Now, because I realized that in this path, what is my reality right now is that what would pay me more would be continuing on the path, on a 9 to 5 path of doing my marketing and communications, right? This is my reality. It doesn't mean that if I finally decide to go to HR, it won't pay me more. But I'm just saying that is what I had chosen to do for the next first 10 years of my career. And I didn't decide this 10 years ago. It began to be clearer to me as I found myself on this path more. So it means that clarity for your career path will not come all at once. So you're not just going to say, oh, now I have divine clarity. Now think of it as a building. When you come to my house for the first time, you might just see the door, right? When you enter the door, you might not know where the kitchen is. Clarity comes by doing. You walk into the sitting room, you discover that, okay, this is the visitor's toilet. You now have clarity of what the visitor's toilet looks like or where it's located, but you might not know where my storeroom is. It will take you moving from one place to another. It will take you exploring and researching for you to finally discover, okay, this is the path that I should stick to, and this is how long that I should stick to it. So this is very important. This is the conversation you should be having now. because the next phase of your life, the plenty things that will be happening, so much confusion will set in that if you did not get clarity before now, you would be even more confused, especially when you move out from the constraints of a campus. Because when you're in a campus, you're in a cocoon, you feel like, oh, everybody's doing what you're doing. Everybody's going to class reading, come back, going for night class reading, come back. Everybody's doing that. You're sort of in a bubble. And if you're lucky, you have parents that send you money from time to time for upkeep. If you're not lucky, it means you're hustling and finding other ways to make sure that you're ahead. So it gets tougher when you are out of that constraint of NYC, even because you'll be thinking, hey, I'm doing NYC. No, you're still in a bubble because somebody is giving you 30K at the end of you're still in a bubble. When you step out, the reality hits that nobody is supplying nothing to me. I'm on my own. And yes, that 30K or 30K may be small, but I am now on my own, meaning nobody will just stay and be thinking of sending me money. So it means that before I get to that point, I need to clarify what I want to do for the next 5-10 years of my life. That's reality. That's the real conversation you should be having right now with yourself. That is the conversation you should be having. I know that social media is making everybody feel like they can become millionaires in one night. And it's possible. I mean, just be creating content and dancing. You will hammer very soon. But unless that is the career you choose, it is still not sustainable. Because your career has to be something that stands the test of time. It has to be something that stands the test of an employment, because an employer can give you an employment and take it back. They can give you a job today and say they're not giving you tomorrow. So that career that you need that stands the test of time, if they pursue you from that job, you can land another one. If you walk away from that job, you can land another one. That's what you should be talking about. That's what you should have. You should have. I mean, that's your strength. That's your skill. That's your own thing. Now, when I was trying to get clarity, like I said, I've been running an HR agency for a while. And trust me, yeah, it started by doing free stuff for one of my mentors. For all she owns a private banking company in Bielsa, and I helped her recruit all of her staff. I mean, all of her staff. I had not done any HR course. I had not done any. It was just in the doing that I learned how to do all of those things. So I recruited, onboarded, even learned a bit of payroll just by doing that work. And she was like, oh my God, Ofon, you're so good at this. You realize that everybody you brought into my company has stayed. You realize that even the way you communicate via emails to them makes them want to stay. When there was an issue with somebody that got pregnant while she was working with them, the way I handled it, she was like, you are great at this. I couldn't have been able to handle this. So she asked me based on her own understanding of what I should be doing, because I wanted to address that, because you might also be confused based on what people think you should be doing with your life. She said, I want you to do this as your career. And she said, go and take CIPM. CIPM is a professional course that HR professionals do. And I went and I paid for CIPM and I was doing CIPM. But I realized that I didn't want to really do that for over a long period of time. As a 9 to 5, because I'm doing it already without, I'm already doing it, right? So it means that I have to devise a way to earn from it as well, while I focus on a part that would actually pay me more. At the time, I don't know about now, but I didn't see somebody who was earning so much doing HR. But right now, like I've seen some other people who now earn really well doing HR. Right. So I didn't think it was feasible for me, but I made sure that it was something that I still nurtured, because I realized I had the gifting for it. So that is very key. Next slide, please. All right. So deciding that, okay, this is great. This is the part that I want to do now. I might not see the end from the beginning, but I'm willing to start this journey. I'm willing to say, okay, these are my strengths. These are the areas where I can flourish. So let me do it. You begin to say, okay, should I focus more on my academics or I should focus more on the skills? Both. You should do both. Because many times when they are looking for a tiebreaker, two amazing software engineers that scored the same in the interview, now we need a tiebreaker. The tiebreaker might just be your academic excellence. That could be the tiebreaker. The tiebreaker might just be a soft skill. You communicate well, you lead well, you have shown proven track record of leadership. That could be the tiebreaker. Meaning it's not as if you didn't do it. So every time people say, "Oh my God, I feel bad, I failed that interview," it might not be about you per se. Maybe that person had one simple, one tiny thing that automatically disqualified you, and they chose that person. So it may not be, though it's not that deep, right? Again, what technical skill would you learn that will support this career that you say you want to do? Also, what side projects must you do now? Let me tell you something that saved my life. I was editor-in-chief of a magazine from my year one to my final year. So immediately I left school. I didn't even realize it was a thing because I was editing campus magazine and church magazines. And so I was editor-in-chief. I was doing all of these things, producing bulletins here and there, doing all of these things. I could write so well, I could edit, I could do all of these things. I could tell amazing stories on my Facebook. But I didn't realize that I was building relevant skills for proper organizations and people, individuals. So what happened? I went for service here, and because something that is inside of you will show itself. And they said, "Oh, there's these people, what they do is write in NYSC, and then they'll be talking on radio." And I had all of these skills. Remember, okay, I didn't mention that while I was in school, I was going to radio houses talking about different things, about gender development, about this, about I was talking about different things. See, what you think you are overlooking right now that you usually do might end up being the thing that fuels what your career will be. Because it comes naturally to you. You know rate because you can do it without thinking. You don't rate it, but it might be the one thing that somebody is looking for because you've done it so much that you don't think about it. When you are driving home, for instance, you may not be thinking, "Should I go here or go here?" Because you've driven on that particular path for so long. You have just passed. You don't remember whether you had to think about it. So that's the essence of doing things that are within your skills and capabilities and interest and passions and all of that, right? So it means also when I say passion, doesn't mean that the fact that you're passionate about something doesn't mean that you might volunteer. There are certain areas.
Hello, Ofon, can you hear me? It seems you are breaking. I don't know if it's mine, but it seems you are breaking. We lost you for a little bit.
Certain jobs, if I wanted those kinds of job, I would get them because I have the experience already through volunteering. For instance, if I wanted project management, I would get a job in project management. Someone speaking?
Yeah, you were breaking for a bit. We lost you for some minutes.
Someone speaking?
About the volunteering.
Okay. So about the volunteering, so I'm saying it's very important. There's many roles that I can apply for now with relevant experience because I've done the work before. So whether it's volunteering as a project manager, I can actually apply for a job in project management and get it. Why? I've done it before, right? So please volunteer. Don't say, why do you want me to do free work? Look for organizations, volunteer, exchange the value. The value for the organization is that They're either paying you small money or they're not paying you any money at all. So it's free work. The value for you is that you're gaining relevant experience and you can slap their name on your CV. You can slap their name on your CV. So many people who have volunteered with my non-profits, I tell them any job you want to go for and they need a reference, call me. I'll give you a 5-page reference. Because I couldn't pay, I was only paying for your data when you were volunteering with us. I couldn't pay you for all of your skills and your experience and your time. So if you're going for an interview, they need a reference. Any interview whatsoever, whether you're applying for Mandela Washington Fellowship, whatever you're applying for, tell me, I will slap you a 5-page reference. Because it's important that they also exchange value. That's very important. Next slide, please. Next slide, next slide. Just can you hear me?
Yes, very well. I think can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Okay, I've seen the next slide. So networking and personal branding. This one, this one is very important. I like to think of networking as horizontal and vertical. You know how when people go for what's it called? Networking events, they go for events, they're always pursuing the people who are wearing suits, were the ones that held onto the mic, people who spoke at events, the big people. But as much as that is good, make sure that you're also networking with your peers because your peers are going where you're going. Your peers have no expectations of you. You have no expectations of them. So when you exchange value, there's no real expectation. But when you're networking with somebody who has gone far ahead of you, they're really looking for how you can add value to them. That's it. That's the truth. There's nothing. See, I'm sure I'm sure when somebody reaches out to you and says, please mentor me, you're thinking, how can they add value to me? Because I don't have time. You really don't have time to start babysitting anybody. You want to make sure that they are doing fine on their own and it's a good addition to your own life that they are in your life. So your mentors actually have expectations of you. It means that if you mess up, somebody reached out and said, hey, Ofon, thank you. I got the job. Thank you for he said something. He ended by saying, oh, I'm not going to fall your hand. He said something about my shoulder pad. So he said something about, keeping up my reputation. And that was very important because as somebody, if you look up to someone, you want to make sure that whoever you're recommending for whatever will not fall your hand. So it means that your mentor or somebody who is ahead of you has an expectation of you not to mess up, right? So you have to keep delivering. But when you are networking with your own peers, you are growing, you are exchanging value and you're growing. There's no, if you send them a message now, they'll respond now, because they're your people, they're your guy, your normal guy now. So they're not waiting, they're not asking you to send an email. So don't only network upwards, also network sideways. Now, don't ignore reaching out, finding mentors, because it's very important. Yesterday, I was to do a final interview in a very big organization, and I was like, oh my God, I need somebody who has done marketing communications for this kind of big organization. And what did I do? I had been following one lady online for a while, and I was like, I'm going to shoot my shot because I really need somebody to give me an insight so how this industry operates. This is going to be a huge one, right? So I sent her this message and she didn't respond on LinkedIn. I was like, oh, I'm going to reach out to another person in her organization. And I discovered that another person in the organization is somebody that I knew from one event that I organized one time. I sent them a WhatsApp and I said, hey, I need this person's contact. This is this. I'm interviewing for this role. I want to make sure that I land it and I want insights. And the person said, oh, sure, cool. Let me confirm if, it's okay to send her contact. And he forwarded her contact and I sent her a message. And in less than 24 hours, no, I sent her a message on Saturday. So in less than 72 hours, she has been a bunch of value to me. In fact, to even let the cat out of the bag, yesterday I was there at the interview by 1 p.m. We finished that conversation by 1:55 and I landed the job there, right there. All I needed was that information. So don't be scared of reaching out to people. But when you reach out to them, make sure that you hold yourself. I wasn't going as a non-entity, as somebody who wanted to waste her time. I told her that, hey, this I have so amounts of experience in fintech. I'm doing this. I'm looking to explore this industry, and I see that you have a track record here. I would like a few insights here. I wasn't going to say, please, ma, mentor me. No, I was going with something actionable. So as you network, you want to make sure that you have something valuable to offer. Clean up your LinkedIn, optimize it, look good on your LinkedIn, because people will look at you and think you don't have sense. Meanwhile, you have sense. So brand yourself properly. So that when somebody looks at you, they can, have an idea of what value you can offer to them. All right. And to think that after the whole interview, she was the one that sent me a message to ask me how it went. This person has never met me before. I only just sent her a message 72 hours ago. But she was so interested in me because she's probably seen that this baby is somebody that she might be younger than me, but maybe it's somebody that I can actually pour my knowledge into. Aren't you going to be excited if you see somebody who is up and doing, who wants to learn, and you're like, I should pour myself into this person? That's the reality of mentorship. That's the reality of, it might not be mentorship, it might just be followership in this sense. Okay, so build your LinkedIn profile. If you're in a creative space or if you're in technical space, please build your portfolio. Also, one other thing that made me land this role is that the HR person said, oh, you're one of the persons that applied for this role. However, what caught my eye was a portfolio. My portfolio is looking sweet. Even me, I know. Even me myself, I know. Right? So you have to, and you might not know, share it with your colleagues, share it with mentors and say, please look at this portfolio. How does it look? Can you give me feedback? Don't go and ask somebody, how can I create a portfolio? Don't ask that question. You have YouTube for that. You have ChatGPT for that. You must make sure that you're showing up sharp. You're not showing up as somebody who will waste anybody's time. Because if you come and meet me and say, how can I create a portfolio? I feel vexed for you. Why? It doesn't look like you've done your homework. It looks like you're coming to waste everybody's time. So show up as a person of value. Let it be that you're asking a specific question rather than saying, okay, please, how can I optimize my CV? No, now. So show up sharp. Your personal branding is very important. I usually say that. Do you know, have you seen somebody that wears a t-shirt that they wrote, gone too soon, or adieu, mama? Do you know that if you see that person so many times, whether you know the person's name or not, you describe the person by what is on her shirt? You say, oh, that woman that wears MTN shirts. Oh, that woman that is always wearing that dirty MTN clothes. Oh, that woman that wears gone too soon. You already have a brand. You already have a brand as a person. If you wear turtleneck, if you wear hijab, they say, oh, that guy that wears turtleneck. Or they say, that girl that wears hijab. Oh, that girl now, that one that is chubby. That's how people describe you. Say, oh, that girl that is always posting about relationship. That girl that is always twerking. That's how people describe you. But if you carefully curate your personal brand to fit what you want for your career, if you're always talking on LinkedIn about your journey, maybe you're a project manager, your journey as a project manager, the certificate you've gotten, how you're learning, telling stories about your journey in your career path. Me, when I'm thinking of somebody to hire, because I'm like, that girl, let's talk to her. Maybe she'll be somebody who would like to add to the team. So that's why personal branding is very important. And when you step into rooms, next slide, please. When you step into rooms, be sure to have a personal statement. Be sure to have a personal statement, an elevator pitch if you would like. You know why this is important? Because see, my babe, my guy, you have to show up sharp, even for the people you think they are nobody. I gave an example of the fact that, oh, it wasn't here. One time I give an example of the fact that the person that landed in my first fintech job was a normal person that I met at the career fair. Normal person. She also came to look for work. But she knew somebody that knew somebody that knew somebody, right? And she looked at my CV. The personal brand was check. And she was like, oh, I think you should do this role. So please, please, please always shop sharp. Let's talk about maximizing NYC and post-graduation transition. See, it's gonna be a lot, right? How many people in NYC do we have here? You're doing your NYC right now. And yeah, also as angry as that girl that did a video a few days ago. Please, if you're doing your NYC right now, let me get a thumbs up. Nobody? Everybody have either graduate or everybody has done NYC. Anita, okay, you're the only one doing NYC now. It's fine. So it can be a lot.
Graduates here.
Oh, majorly graduates, cool.
No, undergraduates.
Undergraduates now, this is the sweet spot. I'm more excited that majorly undergraduates are here. More excited about that. Let's talk, guys. See, your NYC, plan it. I wish my video was on, but I can't put on my video because I don't have the best conditions right now. See, you see your NYC, plan it. Don't play. See, plan it with your full chest. Let me tell you guys. I'm drafting an ebook on how NYC core members can maximize their NYC. Because I repeat, I know how people say, oh, NYC is a waste of time. NYC was the best thing that happened to me. I solidified my career. I was OBS coordinator in camp for those 3 weeks, and I was in charge of over 70 core members, meaning I was directing and leading them. I was heading newscasters, heading writers, heading production, heading all of these things. I was nurturing my skills. I left camp in those 3 weeks and my life was never the same. I was posted to NTA. From NTA, I was head of editorial board, which is a CDS on its own, but it acts as a PR unit of NYSC in any state. So the publications I was churning out, it didn't look like I was just a copper. So your NYSC period is what you create for it. It's your choice. It's how you decide it wants to be. Even when the conditions are not perfect, what have you decided to do? If you say, oh, I didn't want this, but they sent me to primary school, what are you going to do there in that primary school? Well, in order for you not to be sent to primary school, what can you do? Are you going to insert yours? Because when I went, I didn't realize that whatever I was doing was strategic. I should just say, I can actually do this. I've been doing TV before. I've done radio, I've done TV, I've done all of these things. So let me just go to that place, that OBS. And I went there and my very skills were needed. Immediately I joined. Immediately they made me head of the entire team. Because I was coming with real experience. I had worked for a magazine. Even though it was volunteer, but I worked for 2 campus magazines, one for my church magazine. My church had like over 1,000 students attending RCF NDU. There were always publications. So I was not just a core member, I was coming with real experience, which is why you shouldn't take your undergraduate period for granted though. Remember that in school, I was just this busy babe. Very busy. I was doing this, doing that. I had one mini tablet that one tutor, one man that said he wants to marry me that time. And I was like, well, why do you want to marry me now? He now bought me a mini tablet, a mini computer. That's what I was using to walk around, doing this one, doing that one, typing this. I was using my phone before then. Do you guys get what I'm saying? So it's very important that all these things, all the skills that you're doing, everything that you're doing is going to make sense. So you don't play. If your work, they say, oh, come and be project ambassador for this and this thing, do it with your full chest. So far it is something you want, because if you're not happy about it, then don't do it. That's why we talked about the personality test. So you can understand what you should be doing so you don't waste your time doing things that you're not naturally interested in. Now, my PPA was very a strategic one because while I was there, I was doing production, doing news, doing all of those things. I was also publishing for state coordinator. You guys know when you go for NYSC, state coordinator is number 1001 of the entire NYSC. So imagine going with him on trips, on visitations, and I'm there with my laptop drafting everything that he's saying. I believe that was such an exalted position because, baby, you're just a copper. Why are you everywhere with the state coordinator? That's very important. Okay. So when you go for NYSC, if you go to if you go to camp, look for the groups that make sense to you. Look for the groups that make sense to you. You'll find a lot of groups. Plan it though. No go do vibes and inshallah. Plan it. Yes, God will take preeminence. However, have a strategic plan. Now, when you join relevant CDS groups, let it be relevant to emphasis on relevant. If it's not relevant, I don't know. I don't know. If you don't have business with medicals, I don't know what you're doing in Red Cross. I don't know. If you get have plan. Don't go and be doing the one they did not send. For instance, I know that I cannot have a career in software engineering because I know Sabi maths, all those things where then they code, they give me a headache. So it means that I don't have plan going to go and do the one that they did not send me. Right? So have your plan. Don't be doing my friends are doing this one. Let me do this one. Network and upskill. Use that period to apply for postgraduate scholarships and fellowships. Let me give you gist. See, NYC was the best. See, I loved my NYC period. I don't know how to say it enough. Even the friends that I made were strategic. Everybody had a goal. There were times we sit down, we are rehearsing tech talks. The people that I had in my circle, hot brains. That's the first, because I was coming from the South. And the thing with the South, I schooled in Bielsa. Yeah. The thing with the South is that scholarships, fellowships, those things are not conversations in the South. In fact, the only scholarship I applied for in my year one was Shell Scholarship. But when I came, because I served in Osun State, I came to the West, people that went to Ife, people that went to, Uni, Loring, all these schools that are crazy about scholarships, who have a track record of students who have done scholarships. All these people were now in my space, and they were my friends. They were living in the same flats as me. My head was, hey, my head was my head was hot because we now began to apply for so many things, and it now built my writing skills because I then went on to apply for so many other scholarships. I've won a total of $40,000 worth of scholarship. How did it happen? Because I was now in a group of people who had that experience, who had been applying to scholarships as well. While we were doing service, I had some friends who won fellowship and traveled and came back. It was crazy. The possibility was crazy just by staying in the right circle. So you will plan your circle as well. You will say, because see, hey, you're not going to use sentiments. If you see somebody that might not necessarily add value to you, you don't have to be rude, but you can excuse yourself from such friendship because NYC is the one place that you can be distracted. One thing that I didn't do well in NYC was I was so career driven that I know when they go church safe. It distracted me because even the people that I was friends with, they would only go to church as well because we get application or make we do fast. So we are going to church. We can't wait to go home and do that application. So find a balance. Truthfully, find a balance if it applies to you. Do you get? But make sure that everything that you are doing is towards a goal to make your life better as regards your career. Next slide, please. So let's talk about after graduation, the opportunities that are available. When we talk about a job search strategy, people say in a play. When you're searching for a job, there has to be a strategy, right? And it is not in this conversation that we can cover everything. But let me just run it through. you need to tailor your job description to what you need. I wish I was sharing my screen. I would have told you guys that. I would have shown you a message. I called for CVs for project manager, and somebody sent me his sister's CV and said, "Oh, I called for CV for EA, executive assistant, project manager, and one other role that somebody reached out. See customer success or something. One other role. Somebody sent me his sister's CV and told me that the sister is eligible for the 3 roles. I'm like, how? Say, the CV covers for that. I'm like, that's the mistake. Your CV shouldn't answer to every job opportunity. It means if your CV answers to every job opportunity, it means that it's not solving any real problem. They are everywhere and nowhere. But if you are able to optimize it to it's good. It's better for you to have 3 different CVs than to have one CV that is answering to every job. So tailor your CV to the job description. Tailor your CV to the job description. If I'm applying for a project manager role, unless that particular communications role directly ties project management, I do not highlight it that way. And in fact, I would even change it to the title to communications event manager. That will show that is a project manager kind of role. So you need to sit down with your CV every time you're applying for something. So when people, I understand, and I've helped people do their CVs, and I've also charged for it. But when I say that I want to do your CV, but I need to get on a call with you, I need to understand your journey. They say, "Oh no, just do it for me, just do it for me." I don't do that. I don't do that. Because I want to sit with you and understand where you're headed. I want to sit with you and understand what you've done before. I want to sit with you and understand the impact of your work. I not just want to collect your money, run am for you. I don't do that. If you are too impatient, go on. I'm not hungry. Every time I put myself to do something for you, whether you pay me or not, I want to make sure that you leave that place having knowledge to replicate it. So me telling you what your CV should look like by having that conversation with you, it's not going to make me have less money or going to cut customers away from me or take away from me. It's going to help you do better when you're looking for new jobs. Because if you come to me every time when you have a new job or use that one CV for everything, it's not going to really give you the results you're looking for. So it's important that you learn it for yourself, you know. Now, optimize your LinkedIn profile. We've already spoken about that. Now, don't only update, optimize it so that it works. Okay, showcase projects and work experience. Don't just pack things and fold there. Try to quantify some of the work that you have done on your CV as well and on your LinkedIn. Quantify it. These things are strategy. Because if you write it in words, say, write it in numbers. Because our eyes and our brains will capture it at the same time. Do you understand? Also, when you're applying, make sure that you're using specific job boards. I don't know the last time that I got a job from applying on a job board, but it helps because it builds confidence for me. When I apply to jobs from job boards, like I just see several things that are applicable and it helps me build confidence. Even if I get a new job today, it does not stop me from applying. Let me tell you guys, don't play. Oh, corporate is not the place to play. Corporate is not the place to play. And so the fact that, yes, other organizations can reach out to me, it doesn't mean that I'm just gauging my skills. It doesn't mean that I want to accept those roles. I just want to see what is applicable. Imagine me getting a job from Germany and getting an interview from Germany. I just want to see the kind of questions that they will ask me so I can prepare. So I can know, okay, is my skills up to par? Is my knowledge up to par? So don't play small. Remember, you are the career. It's not your employer. Jobs will come and go, but you remain. So always gauge your relevance in the market. Next slide, please. So interviews and landing jobs, it's a skill to it. There's a skill to it. But the more you do interviews, the more you become confident, the more you explore better ways to handle certain questions. For instance, the way you respond to a STAR method for a behavioral question will be different from a way that they will say, "Tell me about yourself." But if you're not practicing, if you've not had several interviews, You might not know. So instead of waiting to have several interviews, how about you practice with your friends? So it's very important that you get yourself into that atmosphere. If you have to wear a suit or a jacket to sit down and let your friend do a demo for you, get into the mood, research interview questions for that role, and do a demo, do a mock interview. It's very important. It prepares you. Your brain does not know the difference between fake and real. Your brain doesn't. That's why some people that lie a lot, some of them will lie so much that they begin to think that that lie is true. If you read some psychology books, you see that some people who have that disorder have lied so much that they think is true. Even then they'll be thinking, because they're now confused about what really happened at that time. Like, what really happened? So their brain doesn't know. So it means that if you do mock interviews well, that's why people, there's always power in make believe. The more you stand in front of your mirror and rehearse things, the more it feels like you're already in that room. So don't take it for granted. Also, negotiating salaries is a skill. It is not something we can discuss today, but everything that you need to excel is in the doing. When you're negotiating salaries, don't just go and blindly reach out to people who have been there before. Ask them, how much can I request for this role? And what are the benefits like? What should I ask for? Do you know that I didn't know that I should ask for a bonus in that interview that I went for yesterday? I don't know until that lady told me that ask them for a bonus. Let me tell you guys, when I asked them for a bonus, they said, okay, their bonus is 6 times my monthly nets. Let me repeat that. 6 times my monthly nets. That's the annual bonus. So it means that, guys, it means that if I didn't knew, that's what they didn't tell me. So imagine not reaching out to people who have been in that space before. I did not know. Imagine my brain just opened. So if the salary was 2 million naira, it means that 6 times of that salary is what? 6 times of that monthliness is what they will pay to me when they are sharing bonuses. So it's important that you ask questions, because if you don't know, you don't know. Truly, you don't know. And sometimes you can make mistakes and not know. It's possible that I didn't know and I resumed that job, and when they are sharing bonus, people will be talking. When they are sharing bonus, people will be talking, and me, I'll be like, me, I do not know. So it's possible that you don't know, but ask questions, okay? Reach out to people on LinkedIn, ask them, how can I prepare for this? Oh, I've watched this video, but can you share any more insights? Given that you've done this before. So please be proactive. Next slide. Next slide. So I'm just going to wrap up with this. Learning is a continuous process. Please don't stop at what you already know. Also, take online courses. Mentorship and networking is key. Network. I will tell you, even this job that I said I'm just talking about now, and I'm using it as an example because it's yesterday that it happened, right? The person that even reached out to me was my brother's classmate. So when my brother was in Uniport, then I was not in university, so I used to go to his school. So you know how like your brother's friend will see as the little girl, their little baby. So that I used to go to their school, right? So he reached out and he said, hey, I've been seeing you post a lot on LinkedIn about this thing, brand communications. Are you in brand communication? I said, yeah, I've been in brand communications for like over 7 years now. And he was like, oh, that's cool. My company is currently recruiting for this role. Can you apply? I was like, oh, I'm not looking for a new role. See me now, feeling like big girl. I said, I'm not looking for a new role. Actually fine where I am. I'm not looking for a new role. Yada, 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 yada. I want to stay in this role for a while. He was like, no, I actually want you to apply for this job. I was like, I'm just going to apply because you are disturbing me. Like, I can show you that WhatsApp chat. Only for me to apply, and it's something that blew my mind. Do you understand? So most of these things will be referrals. But if you are not posting, if you're not networking, if you're not sharing your job, if you're looking for a job and nobody knows that you're looking for a job, you're wrong. Your friends don't know. It's only you that know. Your colleagues don't know. It's only you that know. So please always communicate. Always communicate and say, hey, I'm looking for an opportunity. So looking for a volunteer opportunity here, looking for an internship opportunity. Make sure you communicate, because if you don't talk, nobody's gonna know. Okay. So career progression strategies are key. And I think it's basically everything that we've talked about today. Take courses, and don't don't be everywhere at the same time. Because when I say take courses, not today do data analytics, tomorrow do customer care, next tomorrow. That's why we talked about the personality test from the beginning. So you know, so you understand the part that, like me, you cannot catch me doing data analytics. I cannot understand all those your dashboard. It's giving me a headache. I can't do it. Right? So if you give me, yes, if you give me 6 months to learn data analytics, maybe I'll do it. Maybe I'll succeed. But why would I waste my time doing that when I can take up a master's in my current role, or when I can take up another professional certification, maybe a CIM. CIM is a professional certification for marketers and communications people, or a CIPR, right? Why would I want to do that when I can really magnify, amplify my own skills? The one that is, that I know that, call me tomorrow, tell me to give you a com strategy, I will give you, right? So set clear career goals. Now, clarity comes by doing. So when we say set clear career goals, the one that you can see now, set it. The one that you can envision, set it. Based on your realities, based on your ambition, set it, so that you can know what you are working towards. Okay. Also, seek promotions and leadership opportunities. Don't close your mouth though. If they say there's a project that they want somebody to say, Auntie I, Auntie I, you know all those students in nursery school, Auntie I, go and tell them that Auntie, you want to do it, so that they can do it. They can pull you in, even if it's free project, they can pull you in, you can help it, and you slap their name on your CV as somebody that you have worked for, or an organization that you've worked for. That's basically all that I want us to go back home today with. So yeah, I added key takeaways. I said career success is a journey, not a sprint. I don't consider myself successful, even though comparing where I used to be to where I am now, there's a huge difference. There's a huge improvement, but this is not the best. This is not the apex of what my career will be, right? So I'm still learning as well. Build relevant skills, network strategically, stay consistent and adaptable. Meaning, if there's a new tool that is in town that you need to, if there's a new AI something that is relevant to your career, please go and do it, or go and learn it, because that's how you stay relevant in your own industry. I believe I've shared, yeah, thank you, everybody. I believe I've shared something that is key today, that makes sense. If you have questions, I'm open to it. But I honestly can only take 2 questions because I have to run. I have to run right now.
All right. Thank you so much, Ofon. Thank you for that. So, if Ofon is going to answer 2 questions, but also if you have any more questions, I'll be available to answer those questions. For you. So, thank you so much, Ofon. That has been an impact. Please, you guys should like a hands for applause for Ofon. It was an amazing. Please, let's give it an accolade, please. I don't know how to quantify it. Impactful. I'll use the word. All right, if Naya, you can ask a question. Yes, you get the slide. All right, if Naya, you're muted. You are muted, Gata. You're trying to speak.
Good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon.
Yes, sir. Please, I have a question, ma. And I know you said we shouldn't ask some question concerning maybe personality test and the rest of it. What if you're confused about like maybe your personality, or like you talked about that when we're acquiring like a skill set, that we should be, as in that we should be in relation to like our career, like our career goals and the rest of it. So what if like I don't know how to explain this, but like, what if you're still trying to discover yourself, but you have diverse interests, and you don't even know where you're going to like arrive at. Like, you don't know and even the course you're doing in university right now, you don't really have interest in it. So that is my question.
Amazing. I was in the exact place because I studied philosophy. I wanted to study law faculty, law accreditation. So they said we should come study philosophy. So we studied philosophy, right? So it was nothing that concerns what I'm doing now. But to answer your questions, I have a whole book on that. I have a whole book on that. Trust me, if you go through that book and you're still confused, then there's something wrong, right? Because I took my time, I detailed everything. It's like a workbook because you will answer questions and sit with yourself. I can send a link to God's Gifts that will take you to where that book is. I believe is either 7K or 5K. I think it was on discount, but it's either 7K or 5K. I'll send the link. Um I believe that's the price now. It's a book that you can finish reading in 30 minutes. But when you sit down with yourself to answer those questions, it will take you at least 1 or 2 days because you keep going back to it to answer those questions. Because when you sit down with yourself, because this is your life we are talking about. And so you don't just want to make hasty decisions. You want to sit down with yourself and discover who am I? What should I be doing? Is it in tandem with what I want to do? All these things that people say that I'm good at, where would it lead me in the nearest future? So I have that resource available. I hope it helps if you're able to get it. I hope it helps.
Okay. Often, if you can drop the link in the comment section and also to my DM, that would be very helpful. In the comment section, that would be very helpful. All right. Jude, you can ask a question, Jude. Hello, Jude. Are you available to speak now? All right. Mercy. Mercy, you are
All
muted.
right.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Hope you can hear me.
Very well. Very well.
Okay, so thank you so much for this
Messi, this is what
opportunity.
the oh so sorry, Messi. I didn't realize you were speaking.
Okay, so
Go on.
thank you very much, Ma. I've learned so much. And I want to ask, I don't know whether it's kind of related to what Ifunaya said, but I'll just try to be clear. What happens in a situation where, just like you said, you love speaking, and then your course, I'm actually studying biology education. So I have this drive to teach, to talk. I can explain from now till tomorrow without getting tired. But then in our okay, around you, you're now maybe close to people that are into tech, and then things that you should actually do presently to fetch you money. What exactly, or where exactly do you advise that one should put the more energy in? Because I don't know, I don't know how to believe it, but then people say you should place your mind at least in one place or somewhere, and then put in more energy to get a result instead of being all there without achieving anything. So what do I do? Focus on my drive, teach and explore in that, or go to what fetches me money and put my energy there. Thank you.
You know the beautiful thing about smart people, we can do so many things, right? I'm sure you have other options if you think about it very well. But you need to say to yourself, it's sort of what if Naya had asked. It's the same question in a different form. The truth is that you would have one thing that they say, oh, this is good, this is what I like to do, but there's this other thing that brings me money. How can you find the common ground? Where is your, for instance, somebody that is great in mathematics right now, you say, I'm great in mathematics, doesn't mean I should be a teacher. No, you can be a software engineer because you understand mathematical complex stuff, right? But if you don't sit with yourself and explore what are the options that are directly tied to what you are doing, for instance, me, what do I want to use philosophy to do? I think I'll be lecturer. I don't want to be lecturer, but I have colleagues who are lecturers. In fact, my eldest brother is a lecturer, right? He studied biological something, but plant science and biotechnology, right? He's a lecturer and he still works in an oil and gas company. So is he not expressing himself in the ways that he loves? He is. The thing is that you will need to sit with yourself. because all these options are available to us. You know, the thing about social media brings us so many options. We'll see somebody in America doing one thing, we'll see another person in India, we're like, oh my god, should I do this or that one? But if you don't sit with yourself, you'll be thrown in between, you'll be thrown in so many places. Now, if you notice something with me, I've decided that my 9 to 5 will be marketing and communications. But have I stopped at some point? Yeah, I wasn't really into doing my recruitment stuff, but I've not stopped expressing my other giftings. The only gift right now that I don't express, the only gift right now that I don't express is singing. I came to Lagos and all the choir, they want me to be sounding like Mariah Carey. I say no, please, I just want to be singing normal song. Right? They want me to be sounding so heavenly, like Whitney Houston. Right? They want me to be wearing uniform. I'm like, I cannot do it. Let me just be singing in my bathroom. Thank you. Right? So everything that God has given to me and I always say this, when you have so many potential, it means that you're multi-influential. It means that you have the capacity to influence the world in so many different ways. So it's not a bad thing that you like one thing and another thing is bringing you money. You just have to find the synergy, which is important because in the long run, you feel swear for even that thing you say is bringing you money. You feel you can just be like, what is this? What am I doing? Right? I'm sure there's many people that will tell you that it's not about the money. It's still because of the same thing, because there's no real interest in it. There's no underlying thing that connects what brings them money with the things that they are interested in. Do you guys get that?
Absolutely. Mercy, do you understand that?
Yes, very well. Like, thank you so much. It has actually helped a lot. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Ofon. This is just the beginning, guys. We're going to be having several sessions like this that we believe is going to be very helpful as regards your career, as regards achieving the financial and the career goals you want to actually achieve. Once again, thank you so much, Ofon, for your time. That's really been an eye-opening session, an impactful one, and all. All right, so thank you so much. All right, so I would like to also communicate some things that I believe are very important as regards what we are currently doing in CareerLeap and, of course, Leap School. One of the reasons, like I mentioned earlier, we had to do this is because of we've noticed that when university graduates come into the world of work and they're trying to look for job opportunities, it's practically very hard. You see people say that, oh, there's no job in Nigeria, there's no job outside Nigeria, and so on and so forth. The reason is that the university has not practically prepared people for the job market. Now, you see someone, you ask someone to send an email, a graduate actually, and let's say, for example, you're applying for a particular job and you have been requested to send an email with your CV and all those good stuff. And you see someone sending that email, the way the person sends email, the person doesn't understand blank copy, doesn't understand. Some of all those things are very, very important that mostly some life skills that young people or undergraduates don't actually know. And it's practically affecting the result at the end of the day. You see, I saw a post, I think last week, a man said that there's a job in Nigeria, but young people are not actually employable, right? They're not employable. And the truth is, it is true. Because at the end of the day, it all boils down to the beginning, which is practically their undergraduate years, right? Where they get to, like, you just want to go to school. When you get to school, you come back home, you go back, that back and forth movement. There's no time for you to expand your brain, expand your capacity, and expand all those things that are within you. At the end of the day, the fund you are investing in your education is an investment. So you're practically investing in yourself. So let's say 10 years, 5 years, 4 years you spent in school. Your cost of living may have been like, say, let's say like 10 million to 20 million. If you look at your accommodation, look at your feeding, transportation, and several other things, that is an investment in itself. Now, you now leaving the university and coming out to the world of work, you are confused on what to do. You are confused on the career path to take. You are losing jobs, and they're telling you that, oh, you need 5-10 years of working experience for you to be able to access that job. And you, as an individual, you don't have the prerequisite skill to actually get that job. Now, the challenge for this is the fact that it starts from the undergraduates years. All right, we've seen cases where candidates that comes to CareerLeap and be like, oh, they want to travel abroad. And when you listen to them speak, you'll be wondering, I don't understand. You want to go and do your MSc abroad, and you're still having this, this challenge of communication, this challenge of understanding the best routes to go for, and some other things that we believe it should have been worked on while they are still in their undergraduate years. All right. So it is very important that as an undergraduate, you don't take your undergraduate years as something you just go to school, because at the end of the day, you will come out and you start paying for courses, spending 1 million naira, 500,000 naira on courses, which of course you should have learned while you are still an undergraduate. That's why at CareerLeap, we're introducing our TAP scholarship program, where as an undergraduate, you get to learn those necessary skills that the job market demands. All right, we understand that practically you may have a career roadmap for yourself. Right, so you say, oh, this is what I want to do. And most of you may not have a roadmap on how to actually navigate and get to the end of what you actually want. Right, but through this TAP scholarship program, all right, you will be able to identify the right skill to learn, the right course to go for. Even when you're like, oh, I want to go for my MSc in the US, I want to travel. And inside this TAP scholarship program, we're also organizing, there's going to be a capstone project, meaning that you work on the real life project. You're going to build your portfolio. There's going to be multiple of internship. You're going to be connected to mentors. There's going to be a 9 months impactful program, a 9 months one where we are not even say, oh, we want to just bring any Tom, Dick, and Harry into it. You must be someone that is practically interested about career advancement, career growth. At the end of the day, you will come out and be like, oh, I'm excited that I passed through this training. I'm excited that before I graduate from my university, I am well prepared for the job market. So when you are coming out, you're not coming out, when a company is pushing out, I'm like, oh, we need someone with 5 years of working experience. You already have those experience, already have the skill the market demands. I've seen cases where a company will be like, oh, I don't want to employ a uni graduate, and they should go and do intern. I don't want to employ any. See, you don't want to be in that level. You need to see value is in what you know. Once you are valuable, once you have the skill, right? Once you understand who you are, you stand a more higher chance of actually securing the jobs you deserve. All right, you stand the higher chance, but compared to someone that doesn't know how to send emails, doesn't have the experience, doesn't understand what the job market demands. All right, it is that important. All right, so that you learn those skills that the job market actually demands. And what are those skills we are actually, providing for those that are interested in they want to go into software, they understand mathematics, you like calculations, right? You like things about calculations, you like things about data and all that. You can go for software, our school of software, right? Under our school of software, we have software engineering, we have DevOps/cloud engineering, we have blockchain engineering, and we also have cybersecurity. These are actually in-demand courses that you can even get remote jobs from the comfort of your home. And inside this our TAP scholarship program, we're going to be teaching you how to also get those particular jobs, right? Now, you are learning this, remember, before you graduate from the university, all right? You're learning this so that when you are coming out, you're not coming out half-baked. You are coming out prepared for the job market. So if you are interested in mathematics, you understand mathematics, you are doing engineering, you like things like this, then you can go to our school of software. Then our school of digital technology, for those that are interested in marketing communications, PR, you're interested in building brands from start to finish, you're interested in sales, digital marketing, brand development, sales and marketing, PR management, growth marketing. These applies to you. So you see, normally, these are not core skills that are actually taught in the university, but these are the skills the job market demands. You never see a company coming out and be like, oh, we are hiring a doctor, or they are pushing it out there that we are hiring a doctor, or we are looking for a biochemist specialist. You will never see it out there, right? You need to belong to some certain society or to some certain network for you to be able to access such job opportunities. But imagine you studying agricultural science and you're coming out looking for a job, and the job they are requesting for is someone that understands digital marketing, or someone that is into project management or marketing and communications with 5 years of working experience with a certain number of skills and all those big things they really put out there. it is going to be practically difficult for you. But imagine you understanding these things before you graduate. So digital marketing, very lucrative. I actually started my journey as a digital marketer. All right. And as from there, I built my career into sales and marketing, into media and communications. I worked as a media and communications person. I've worked as a project manager. I've worked as a product marketer. I've worked as a project manager. I've worked as a digital marketer. I'm a multiple, like I have a lot of skills that if you are bringing me on board, I'm giving you stories. I'm telling you how to like advance from year to year. So no organization can come in today and say they want to have a conversation. I will be giving them the advice on how to, move there because of the years of experience that I've gathered and the experience I've done or the skills I have, particularly on that particular, field that I have focused on. All right. So I'm more of a consultant. So you might decide to be like you want to do PR management. You can decide to be you want to become a growth. So if you don't like things like mathematics, right? You don't like all those things, you can actually go for School of Digital Technology. Then School of Products. So you want to do product marketing, you want to do product management or product design, right? For product manager, for those that want to work in the tech space, right? You want to work in the tech space, you fancy the tech space, but what you are constantly hearing is that you're supposed to do coding, you're going to do coding. No, there are some certain skills in or some certain field in the tech field or sector that you don't actually demand or need to have a code skill or a software development skill. And that is where product management or product marketing comes to play. All right. Product marketing, product management comes to play. A product manager is someone that actually, let me do this example. If you imagine you are building an app, a product, right? You're building a product, call it a product. Let's say you're building a Facebook app. Now, Facebook needs a product manager. All right. For that product to work, you need a product manager because a product manager understands what the company needs in terms of taking that product to the public or to the market. But for that product to be live, the product manager needs a software engineer, either back end or front end. Then the product manager also needs a product designer, someone that is into designing UI and UX designing. Right now, the product manager is responsible for managing this set of guys. You don't have to do coding. What you just need to do is to understand the direction of what the product or the goal the product wants to solve. So you're practically explaining to the product designer, this is what I want, this is what the product is about. Then you as a product manager, you're going to come up with what we call PR, the product requirement document. That is what you're going to be coming with. You're going to be managing these people to execute on that particular task. And in fact, product manager even earn more than the software developers or even the product designers. What's about product designing is that you may work for a particular company for a number of time and you may play, but a product manager is someone that can be in that company for years. All right, because you're the one that starts to get the product from inception. So even if, of course, you don't know how to code, you don't like coding and all that, but you know how to manage people, you know how to organize things, you know how to like set things and make it look nice, then product management is good for you. But let's say you don't want to do product management, you like designing, you are someone that knows how to design it very well. All right, you can design, you are a graphic designer, what have you. You can actually go for product design, which is UI UX. You can actually get a lot of gigs. UI UX for a gig, you can for just one gig, you can be earning up to $1 million. I've seen people that have earned $1 million for just a project. Just a project, it's a 6 months or 2 months project, depending on the company you are interested in or you want to work for. They'll tell you that the possibility for you to advance in this sector is very huge. Now, which university actually teach people or student product management? Now, product manager or product design, you can actually earn more than a doctor, right? In a year, you can actually earn more than a doctor. If you, of course, if you're in Nigeria, you can earn more than a doctor. Imagine you getting 5 to 10 gigs, and you can actually work remotely. So the possibility for you to advance in your skill is actually very huge in this sector. Now, our School of Commerce, if you're interested in anything marketing, you're interested in anything sales, business development, right? You can go to our School of Commerce. So we have e-commerce and product marketing. If you are here today and you like all this WhatsApp kind of selling, you sell wig on WhatsApp, you sell clothes, thrift clothes on WhatsApp, or you are into some of this e-commerce thing using Alibaba and all those things. There are strategies on how you can actually position yourself to become a thought leader or an expert in that particular sector. To be able to consult for other of your peers or your peers that are into that sector to see how they can actually help or you can actually promote their product. All right. So if you're interested in that part, then our School of Commerce is for you. Then entrepreneurship and business development. If you're someone that you are interested in, you want to build your own business, you want to start your own business, you currently have a business that you are trying to push here and there, then this is actually good for you. Then business analytics. Business analytics, if you are a business person, you understand it is a good one. Especially if you want to go study MSc. One of our candidates in CareerLeap that went to the US to study at the University of Delaware, business analytics. She graduated last year, December. She currently works at the Bank of America in the US, right? Currently works in the Bank of America in the US, and she studied business analytics. So these courses can actually give you leverage. All right, we give you leverage over someone that doesn't have that particular skill at all. Then we have School of Data. Now, School of Data is data analytics, data science. Now, imagine you having all these skills before you graduate. It gives you an edge. Now, the thing I want to say is this, right? Nobody will come to help you. In Nigeria, as it is, nobody can come and give you something. It now depends on you on what do you want to do at the end of the day. What is that career path? Because I've seen people be like, learning some of these skills is very expensive. At the end of the day, if you don't learn it, anything you want to buy out there is going to be expensive. So, and you don't have the money to even buy those things at the end of the day. So the best investment I would say to anyone is investment in yourself, because you can't take away the knowledge you already have. Right? Nobody can take away the knowledge you already have. So the best investment is an investment in yourself. And to conclude, we're going to be having this kind of mentorship sessions on a weekly basis, say twice in a month, where everyone will get to learn and understand how they can actually pivot from point A to point B. The next session we're going to be having is going to be on the 29th of this month, right? And by then, I believe most of you must have registered for our TAP scholarship program. So like I said, we're not bringing any Tom, Dick, and Harry into this. We're bringing people that are actually very serious and all that. So the link will be made available for you to apply, because you're going to have a portal where you sign in, you meet your facilitator real time. It's a virtual session, so your school or location is not going to be a barrier for you. And of course, our campus ambassadors from the universities we've selected are going to do a lot of communications to those that attend in their schools, so they're going to communicate more about that. So Blessing, you want to ask a question? Hello, Blessing. You are muted.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes. Good afternoon, sir.
Hi, good afternoon.
Okay. Sorry, I want to really appreciate what you just said. Now it's a good point, and I'm learning a lot from it. Please, I have a question. My
Okay.
question is, kind of confused the differences between blockchain engineering and software engineering.
Okay.
So my question, it's kind of confusing me.
Okay. Well, I'm not in the blockchain industry. Neither am I in the software engineering industry, but they are very big different things. So blockchain deal with all this crypto, all this AI related kind of thing. That's what blockchain engineering is more into. Then software engineering, software of course also has a link to blockchain, because you need software to build some of all these things. So we have in software engineering, we have backend engineer, we have front-end engineer. Like for example, looking at this platform we are using is built by a software engineer, backend, front-end. Now a blockchain is way more deeper, but at the same time, you still need a software engineer to actually work on those things. But that is actually not actually my core field, but that is practically what it actually means. Do you understand, Blessing?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
You're welcome. Sheung. Okay.
Yes,
Since
sir.
Sheung.
Good
Okay.
afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon.
Yes, sir. So my question is, for the 9 months TAP scholarship, are we taking just a course, or we are taking one course from each of the schools?
You are taking one course from each of the schools. So what works for you? Like you need, like for example, if you are into, or people that are like, they like anything related to IT or security system, you can actually go for cyber security. So it's not as if you are going for just everything. You're going for one that is peculiar to you. So if you say you like PR management, you know how to, you want to go into this music thing, you want to manage PR, public relations, right? You decide to go for public relations, okay? Or you're a business owner, you want to study about on the entrepreneurship space and business development, right? That you can actually go for it. So it is not saying, we're not saying you should go for everything. We don't even advise that. You understand, Sean?
Yes, sir. So that means for example, now I can take cybersecurity from School of Software. I can take product
Exactly.
design. I can take, all right, sir.
Yeah, but you're not taking from each. You're just taking one from one school. Do you understand? Do you get? So yeah. So thank you very much, everyone. I don't know if anybody have any other question. Any other question? Any other question? All right. So thank you very much, everyone, for joining. So we hope to meet again on 29th of this month. And thank you once again. And see you. Bye bye.